Destiny 2. It's a
Yeah.
thing. Do you Destiny 2, Jake? Do you Destiny?
From time to time, I've been known
Are you
to.
ready for this Destiny 2 spoiler extravaganza
Is that what it is?
podcast? While we were doing all our checking stuff, I kept trying to think of how to make a word out of Destiny spoiler cast and bonanza.
Yeah.
And
Um,
that's what happened.
a big old. Yeah, I don't know. The only thing I can think of is a Traveler Nanza, but that's really not good.
You know, it's a banana that's really bright.
A Cabalanza.
Yeah, well, that one's really fat. That's a fat banana.
Yeah, with with asthma. Yeah.
So Destiny came out
Yeah,
a few weeks ago. A little behind.
We could lie and say we're doing this on launch night.
Oh yeah, we could, but
we won't.
But we won't.
That's right.
That's because we're good people.
With integrity.
News
you can trust.
So yeah, but we're quite a bit of ways into it. Like I'm level 20 and doing most of the end game, and you also just recently finished the campaign.
Yeah, whoa, let's not undersell me here. I finished it last week. Last week on launch night. not launch night. But I finished it last week, yeah. But I haven't done a lot of end game. I've done like a little bit of what do you call it? The PvP. I haven't done any special stuff. Yeah.
I've only done a handful of the strikes. And I do I do all the daily or the flashpoint stuff, which is like the planet of the week or something, I do all the milestones and stuff, but I haven't done any like raids or the nightfall stuff, and I don't really care.
Yeah, same. I've done like some world quests, but
yeah,
I think I did a little bit of rep grinding because I wanted those special level 20 rewards.
Yeah,
but I didn't do all of them. I did like 2. So.
Yeah, but this time Destiny 2 has like an actual campaign, so we should probably start talking about that, about how like because I know I didn't play Destiny 1, but I know one of the big complaints about it was that it had a huge lack of story.
A huge gaping pit where a story's supposed to be. Yeah, a little bit.
And this game, I heard so much as like this game actually had cutscenes, while Destiny 1
Destiny 1 had a couple of cutscenes, and honestly, I'll say this. I don't know if it's a popular or unpopular opinion, because I don't read the internet, but I thought the cutscenes in this pertaining to your Guardian were worse than the ones in Destiny 1.
Yeah?
I thought the story cutscenes were cool, but I miss having a voice, which we had in Destiny 1, and now it's gone.
When you told me that the Destiny 1 Guardian talked, I was like, whoa.
It was very rare.
Because they even kind of make a point to at times in the campaign in Destiny 2, your character will go to talk,
and the ghost cuts you off.
Your ghost cuts you off.
It's infuriating because in Destiny 1, I played what's the robot race? One of those.
I don't know what the race is.
I played a Cybertron Titan, I think is what they're called, and it was like your voice kind of sounded like Master Chief. I think it was the same, it was by class and then by gender. I don't think it was race specific, but your voice sounded really cool, and you didn't say a lot. Like there was one cutscene where you're your ghost gives you the whole exposition dump, and you're like, all right, let's go, something like that, and you're like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But in this one, you're just some kind of
you're just the hero. Yeah. You're just the voiceless hero.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the bigger things about the whole campaign is that it's rather generic and
Mm-hmm. You're the only one with special powers in the whole world.
Yeah, which is weird because it's Destiny is an MMO, and the whole you're the only one who got your light back, but you're not really the only one who has their light back.
Yeah, it's just you. But also, you see everybody else running around. They also have magic.
I thought it was weird when you met up with Zavala.
Yeah.
You weren't immediately like, "Hey, I know how we can get our light back." We just go over to the shard and you touch it or do whatever.
Yeah. Do a little dance.
Yeah.
You have a whole cutscene event.
Yeah, and you get your powers back, man. It's easy. It was like a level 2 quest. I did it no problem.
Yeah, if we could do it at level 2, I'm pretty sure Zavala could have handled it. Man.
So it was like really good. Like, and then they kept going on like, oh, now we can actually die. It's like, no, no.
Yeah, it's so funny because you're the first mission, or like before you get your light back, I think, or maybe I don't remember if you get it back first or whatever. But they're like, oh, but the stakes are high because if you get killed, it's all over. And then if you die, like it's the same as it always was. You just come back. And I don't know. They try to make it like there's these high stakes, and there's not at all. Like, oh, the main characters can die. None of them will. Don't worry. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the story is just—it's so like.
Actually, not none of them. One of them. Spoiler.
Wait,
the speaker.
Oh yeah, he dies, but
yeah, in like the lamest. Well, I don't know if it's the lamest way, but it's kind of lame.
Yeah, it was like they kind of threw away like for a character who I'm assuming was like a big character in the first game.
You would assume that.
Was he not?
He was a occasional quest giver, and that was about it. I mean, I assume he had an important role as the speaker for the Traveler.
Hey man, like, he didn't. Hey, he spoke for the.
he never said Traveler. He spoke to him.
He never said. And says every religious prophet ever.
Yeah. Oh my god. And the whole time he is literally speaking as though it's telling him what to do. And then he's like, actually, surprise.
I've been lying.
I'm just a con man.
This whole game is a lie.
And the first one, I just decided what I thought it would say. And that's what I said to everybody. And they all believed me. Whoops.
That way it's really everyone else's fault, not mine.
Yeah, it's really all of our faults that Destiny 2 happened. No.
Yeah, but like I think I liked the campaign overall. Like it was not terrible, but it just wasn't. It was like generic sci-fi adventure where you get the team back together.
Yep.
And you fight the bad guys. There were some cool moments in the campaign.
Yeah.
Like the whole walking on the sun thing.
That was sick. The whole thing where you're on the surface of that space station and you have to like get behind, like get in the shade pretty much.
Yeah, that part was really cool.
That was very cool. And there's a few really cool moments like where the music, like the symphony ramps up.
The
like towards those
soundtrack
later
in this game is fantastic. Like it was super
sick.
Good. Like there was a lot of like the timing that it did a lot. Like in the beginning, after your first encounter with Gaul, you open up and you're like really wounded,
Oh yeah.
And you're like crawling out of the city. Like they have this like really like
the sad eagle song.
The violin. I'm trying to think of the atmospheric violin playing, and it really you're slow crawling out of the city. And this violin is going.
Yeah, and you're following an eagle.
And you're following the eagle and everything, and you're just like, it really kind of hones in the feeling of defeat that you just lost and everything, and you're barely alive. I think there was I just played another character or just started a new character, so I just did that sequence again, and I think both those times, it just stands out as just you walking out into the actual cliffs out of the city. And then the music just kicks in, and it's just or one of those powerful moments that you don't see too often.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I thought also it kind of went on a little longer than I would have liked, but that was a small nitpick. It was pretty cool. But then after 5 minutes of still walking, and it's the same song playing, and you're like, where the fuck is that eagle? I just want to get to the stupid farm.
Yeah, that's definitely how I was feeling on my second time going around.
Yeah, but I mean, it starts off very cool. It's a good.
It's moment. I think there's a lot of moments in that game where they it's an action movie. It's you're just you're coming in, you're shooting bad guys, things are exploding, everything's going your way.
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah, everything's coming up Guardian.
Yeah.
There were some cool characters. I think the failsafe character was really cool.
I mean, it was a cool character. I hated the dialogue for Failsafe.
Really? I just
Oh
the
my
only
God.
thing I didn't like about Failsafe was the alternate personality.
That's exactly, and that's what they loved about Failsafe. The people who wrote it were like, "This is gonna really shine."
Like if they would have just kept with the slightly off crazy AI,
Yeah.
that without the whole
The alternate failsafe was just like an anti-joke. Like everything it said was supposed to be like a witty, like sarcastic quip, and everything it said was like, "Shut the fuck up! I don't want to hear it." Like
the ghost,
I didn't like
the ghost, dialogue was pretty good.
it was better. He's still like your little,
everything.
exposition machine, but it's still. I mean, that's what he's there for. Like literally as a game mechanic. That's why you have him.
I do not like Zavala. I don't like him.
You don't like him?
He's just like.
Is he too bald?
He's such a downer, man. He's such like.
What? Dude, when he gets his team back and he's like, I love you guys. You don't remember that?
Huge downer.
Huge downer, yeah.
There were just some early parts in the game where you do something and he'd be like, "Oh, it's this."
It doesn't even matter.
Die anyway. And you're just like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Like, I'm really trying to motivate myself to finish through this campaign. And you're not helping.
Yeah, and he's just the Destiny equivalent of Eeyore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna leave you behind, leave you on this water planet.
Yeah, honestly, we could have.
And that's one of the other things I liked. I really thought stood out was the environment design.
Yeah, so I liked the map design was pretty cool, but I thought in terms of how things were structured, the places you go are totally random. Like when you finish a zone, they're just like, guess what? It's this other zone that you have to go to now, and they could make any there's no logical sequence. Like you don't hear about the other zones earlier.
It's just a bunch of little hubs.
Yeah.
Jointly connected.
The thing, but there wasn't a lot of flow between them, other than at the end of one zone, they were like, okay, now there's a new zone, go do it. But there wasn't a lot of foreshadowing. And when you're on Earth, you don't hear about you don't hear about Nessus and whatever else. And so when you go there, you're just like, oh, I'm at this place now. You don't know, there's no build up to any of them. I mean, there's a build up in the quest to it, but that's it.
The first one was okay, you got these beacons down, and now you can hear Zavala's.
Yeah, there's a tiny bit, but we didn't even know that place existed until that quest.
Yeah, I think that was the one thing I was hearing. It was there's not a lot like Destiny 1 had the moon, it had Mars, had Venus. Which are much more tangible.
Absolutely.
Planet. And ones Nessus and Io, those just aren't as tangible as something like the moon.
Yeah, even the asteroid belt or whatever, where the the magic blue guys are. I can't remember any of the names, but where that race lived in Destiny 1, basically, it was that's a cool thing. And it's something that you can attach a real world value, as much as you can with anything in space. Whereas these are just they could have been oh, guess what? It's Krypton. Guess what? We're going to Cybertron, and anything would have. They could. I think
the environments though were nice. I the
environments
was
were
the
nice,
cube one, right, with the Vex.
That was Nessus, yeah.
Yeah, that one's probably my favorite. And then there's that water world, which is pretty cool.
Was Titan, I think.
Yes.
Which is a little weird to name a zone. I know Titan's a real space location, but it's weird to have a zone named the same as one of your classes. That would be in WoW if you went to a zone called Warlock. It'd be a little strange.
I mean, Warlocks are in Destiny.
Yeah. All right, yeah. So it'd be in WoW if you went to a zone called Warrior. Then.
Yeah.
But I understand. Titan is probably the only, other than the EDZ, the European Dead Zone.
Yeah.
It's the only recognizable name. Maybe Io.
I knew Io.
Yeah, but Nessus was whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's actually real.
It's a Vex construct, so probably not.
No, I thought
I thought it was like on an asteroid, so
I
Nessus might
thought
be
it
a
was
real asteroid or something.
they turned it into a Vex construct, or they were
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to.
So it might be a real floating body out in space, but
I
nobody's ever heard
think
of it.
the most interesting, and again, I never played Destiny 1, so I don't know what happens there, but the Vex are cool as hell, and I want to know everything about them. And I hope there's more.
There won't be, probably.
God, come on.
Knowing Destiny, so that's how the Cabal was in Destiny 1. So actually, maybe the next game, Destiny 3, will be Destiny 3 Vex in 3D, something like that. But Destiny 1 suffered a lot from, like, they made basically 3 races. The Fallen, the Vex... Oh, 4, sorry. Fallen, Vex, Hive, and Cabal. Like, they introduced all of them in Destiny 1. And then you get a tiny bit of backstory if you read, like, their lore entry. If you, like, pick up an item. Well, actually, they had this thing called the Grimoire in Destiny 1. And so basically, if you, like, killed a bunch of Fallen guys, you get a Grimoire entry about them, and you could read a little bit about Fallen, like a sentence or two.
I remember hearing a bunch of stuff about that.
And so you learned a tiny bit of their backstories, but not a lot. And the Cabal were really interesting because they're like a space empire.
Yeah,
and the people
like
on
space Romans.
Yeah, and so they were on Mars, and the only ones on Mars were like an expeditionary force. So it's like there's a whole empire out there somewhere. Whereas the other ones, the Fallen, are like scavengers. They don't have like a cohesive nation. The Vex are like the Borg or whatever else, machine people. A hive mind.
I just think it's really cool with they have that thing like with the Traveler and the Guardian, like the thing they cannot simulate and stuff. That's like where a lot of the mystery comes in.
Yeah.
Which I think Destiny 2 as a whole kind of lacks.
Yeah, Destiny 2.
There's not a lot of mystery to it.
There's not a lot of mystery. There's not a lot of... They didn't add any new races. No, there's not a single new enemy race. It's all the same ones from Destiny 1. Like, they didn't even try to be like, oh, guess what? More aliens landed. Like, no. There's a couple new units, but most of the units are the same. And they didn't expand on the...
exactly the same?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they probably updated the art assets, but Dregs, Vandals for the Fallen, Dregs, Vandals, and Captains were all in Destiny 1. They're all exactly the same in Destiny 2. Cabal had Legionaries, Centurions, Phalanxes. They updated some Cabal units, but since they're the main focus of the game, I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, same thing with Hive and Vex. Same units. They added, I believe for every race, they added like 1 or 2 new units, but no new, like, there's no new race. Yeah. Not for players and not for enemies, so that was kind of lame.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things about Destiny that I feel like they just didn't get quite right.
There's a lot of things where I think they just don't understand what people want.
Yeah.
I mean, they understand what some people want, because some people just want to hop in, they want to shoot stuff and get loot, and that's cool, and that's it. And they understand that. Bungie's great at that. But I don't think they understand people who actually want to know about a story and know about enemies. Yeah. In this one, they did a campaign, and it was good. It was acceptable. The story was okay. And they actually wrote dialogue, but instead of giving meaningful backstory to anything, the dialogue is all everybody's trying to be clever, everybody's trying to make a joke or be cool. And that's
from what I heard, I got a little taste of this earlier today as I was doing some more of the post campaign quests. Some of those add interesting backstory to the factions.
So that's what I need to do still then.
You learn that the Vex is trying to do something to the Fallen, and there's other parts that you learn how the other factions interact with each other and not just them versus you, which I think adds some cool backstory, because it's it makes you realize that these factions are also interacting with each other. They're not just some big they're not
umbrella. Just all carbon copies of enemy units. You do see that a little bit in the gameplay, because if you come across Fallen and Hive, they'll be shooting at each other.
Yeah, you'll see them fighting and stuff, which I think is I always appreciate it when a game does something like that.
So that's pretty neat. But I
think the end game, I think where Destiny 2 really shines though, because it's really to me what makes it or breaks it for games like this, like MMO lights or MMOs, or something like I really look at Destiny like Diablo, in game, and I think the in game in this is like pretty good as far as like your loop that you're playing every day, and weekly reset, the grind, the PvP and the PvE options. There's so much to do after you get to level 20 and beat the campaign. There's the treasure maps, there's the nightfall, there's all, and the milestones. There's a lot to do once you get to level 20.
Yeah, and it's probably, I haven't done a whole lot of that. I've done a little bit, but if there is stuff like expanded background on the different factions, then that's something I still need to do. But like from playing the whole 1 through 20 campaign, there's like almost nothing on any of the factions. Even on the Cabal, like who get their own cutscenes, you only know about Gaul, and I don't even know if you know his friend's name. Like,
well, it turns out he was the the guy who took him in, his master or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't. So like maybe you learn his name, maybe you don't. But like you only learn about them and like a little bit about the Cabal through their dialogue, but you don't see like.
And there's those objects in the world where you can scan them with your ghost and get like some story tidbits, but those are hard to find.
And also
all over the place.
Super informative.
That too.
A lot of things you scan and your ghost just goes like, huh, that's really weird. And that's all you get. And you're like, yeah, no shit, I was hoping you could tell me about it. Like, really? I thought that's what you're here for.
Yeah. But the end game is pretty good. Like I've gotten through some of the end game. I know you haven't, but like you've gotten you've gotten there.
Yeah, I completed the main quest line. I don't think I did any of the like they're like blue banner icon.
Yeah, those all give you exotics at the.
Okay, yeah, that's stuff I still have yet to do. I got sucked back into WoW, so I've been doing that more than Destiny now.
But yeah, so the end game, like I really, when I've been playing it, I really get Diablo vibes just with the loop of like you're going into a zone, you're killing things, you're getting loot, you're always like making some number go up, or you're always trying to.
Yeah, always trying to, I'd say.
And there's always a bunch of randomization that you have to periodically go back to town and everything.
You have to buy dyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Diablo.
That's again one of those things that's just like, man, like especially since from what I hear about Destiny 1, the shaders were just one item and it matched it wasn't consumable, and it matched all your gear.
Yeah, and you could just, when you got a shader, you could just like equip other ones. It didn't like destroy the other one.
Yeah.
It didn't get wasted. Like it was pretty nice.
So like I get new shaders and I look at them and I preview them and I'm like, oh man, but I don't want to waste it on this gear that I know I'm going to replace in like a day.
Yep.
It's so. It's one of those things that really irks me. Like, and I try not to get too caught up on it because like, it's just like it's to me feels like such a regression.
It is. It really is in that, at least in that aspect. There's a lot of places I think where the game improved, but there's places where it definitely like went backwards. Like shaders, I think the talent trees are super. I mean, they basically achieve a similar thing that the talent trees in Destiny 1 did, but they're very much like trimmed down and simplified.
Yeah, I don't even like calling them talent trees because you're not.
Yeah, they're just kind of
not really making decisions like that. Like it's
to me more it's like only side grades.
You're just picking your abilities.
Yeah, the only thing where you choose are like the two different melee abilities, and like they have their own little tree, and it's like that's pretty much it.
That's like you get them all, or you get like all of one, or like you don't get like
You don't grab a half of the first melee and then like a buff
you either
from
get
the
them
other
all
one.
one side or get the other side.
They're all linear paths.
That's like one of those things that like makes me like the MMO player in me makes me think like, man, this is so bare bones.
Yeah, they missed out on some of those mechanics.
And especially like when there's only 3 classes, like or 3 like subclasses, and the difference between them is just one ability pretty much.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that makes me just like, that's not. It's like, that's the MMO player in me, like wanting to do more MMO stuff. That's where I always try to think about it like, oh, this is more like Diablo. But even then, even Diablo has more class customization and class differences.
Yeah, it does. It has a lot of talents, but I guess it's less complex than other games, but still, like, they've got a lot more choices.
That's not like, to me, it's not like getting in the way of anything, but it's just like, I wish there was more. And maybe, the whole thing with Destiny is they got like some sort of 10-year plan, so maybe they'll get there eventually.
What year did the first one come out? Was it like 2012?
2015?
Oh, man. My timelines are all off.
It's either 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, that actually makes more sense. So yeah, we're only 3 years into their master plan, so maybe it's something big's coming.
Like I get, like, one of the things that was really disappointing was like when finding out that, like, the best guns are the best guns for pretty much everybody, because everyone is using the same stuff.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty big point, is that Destiny has 3 distinct classes that essentially all do the same thing. Except
it's just like what happens when you hit L1 and R1.
Yeah.
That's what you're deciding. Pretty much.
And you have to level them from 1 to 20.
Also, what happens when you hit the circle button in some weird way.
Yeah, so you have like 3 abilities that are different than the other classes. And I know your grenades are different, but like you can make builds with each class that have similar builds.
Like each, you notice that they all are almost the same, just they're very minor differences.
Yeah. And it basically just becomes your class is the name of the class and kind of what you look like.
Yeah.
And I mean, your abilities are different. I'll give you that. Like the specials are totally different.
Yeah, the specials are different in a meaningful way. Like they're not different in like.
Yeah, they're not just recolors of the same special ability.
They're meaningfully different. It's just like that to me is like what is essentially the only difference.
Yeah, the gear's all the same. Weapons are all the same. It's
It's just something where I think like, oh, maybe it'd be cool if they had a whole new class, or
you would think,
or just any other thing to make it more of an RPG.
I believe that.
I like the ways exotics and like depending on the legendaries you get, like what gear you get in that game really changes the way you play.
Yeah.
Which is to me just not like I am someone who likes to pick a class and go into like theory crafting stuff and like min-max the class, learn how to do this crazy spec, and you can't really do that in Destiny. You have to find guns and build your playstyle around guns.
Well, it's
certain gear.
Yeah, it's not even just the guns. It's that everybody's goal is just to get the same better gear than what they currently have.
Yeah.
There's not different like. There's not like I don't think there's like a set that's like, this is a good set for warlocks. This one's good for like whoever.
I mean, there's the armor sets. The armor sets have.
Yeah, but it's not like a whole like. It's not like cloth leather plate.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like actual weapons that changed a lot for like, different classes.
Yeah.
Like they just came out with the faction stuff. There's 3 different factions to choose from now, and if you rep with a faction, you get some gear, and it's all like there's 3 different sets, and everyone was immediately went to I think it's like the Future War Cult FWC, because they had the best guns for every class. It's not like hey, maybe if you were this class, go this way. No, it's like these guns are the best for everybody.
Yeah, they're just the better guns, and like the other stuff doesn't really matter because it's pretty much only what gun's the best.
Yeah, but Destiny is a shooting game, and it's good. It's a good shooting game. It's fun to run around and shooting people. Like you shoot a lot of people in that game, and it's a lot of fun all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a couple times when like through the campaign and like sometimes
certain boss fights.
Certain fights and stuff can be a little tedious. But that's because it's just like you're out of ammo in a poor time, or you're like, one thing that I've found kind of frustrating is I don't know if it's like my nat type or something, or I'm just playing at bad times, but sometimes I'll go up to a lot of public events and I'll be the only one there.
Yeah, sometimes that happen.
Which sucks. Because public events are awesome. Like they're one of the new, I guess, the kind of newer thing in Destiny 2.
Yeah, they were in Destiny 1, but
you couldn't track them or anything.
Right, I don't think so. It's been a while since I played Destiny 1.
Understandable.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Yeah, the public events are really fun, and it's just sometimes, I get like, because sometimes a lot of some of the milestones can be doing the public events, and I'll go to a whole planet and then see, like, I'll go from public event to public event, and I'll be the only one the entire thing. And so I feel like the matchmaking could be a bit better there.
Probably. Actually, this is not related to public events, but it reminded me, because you said, like, going from planet to planet, is that Destiny 2 feels like a smaller game than Destiny 1. Like, there's less... there might be the same number of zones, because I think Destiny 1 was Earth, Moon, Venus, Mars, and then I think that was it, because I think, like, stuff ended in, like, the Black Garden on Mars. Maybe there's one more that I'm forgetting. But, like, those felt like big places, I guess. I mean, and honestly, map-wise, Destiny 2 could be larger. But, like, the scope of things feels smaller.
Yeah, everything's really tight. There's not a lot of open areas.
Yeah.
On a couple planets, there's some open areas. Have you gotten your Sparrow yet?
Yeah, you get it after you complete the whole campaign, which is mind-boggling.
I got mine a little bit before I completed the campaign because I got lucky and got it in a drop.
Oh, I didn't realize that could happen.
Yeah, you could get it in a drop.
I thought the first one had to be the one that you get from...
I also got, like, a new ship before the game ended.
Oh, wow. I didn't get any of that until the end of the game, and then I just bought them. And they're actually, like, really cheap with Glimmer.
Yeah, I got, like, an exotic ship and an exotic Sparrow from, the free... I got, like, that first free Bright Engram you get was really good for me. Because I also got... this might have been one of the other exotic Engrams or whatever. I got the table break exotic emote thing. Flip table.
Nice.
The table flip, I got that too.
That's awesome.
And those emotes, man. Like the dances and stuff, like, man. Props to the art team or the
whoever
team,
did the character
team, like,
animations.
whoever did that, like that took like time, skill, and passion.
Those are solid emotes. Yeah.
Someone was up until like 4 a.m. getting those, like, just perfect.
Yeah, and they did it. It puts the emotes in, like, Black Ops 3 to absolute shame.
Yeah.
Like, they're incredibly detailed. They're really good.
That's also one of those things where it's just like, why can't I just have an emote wheel? Like, why
do I have to equip one out of...
one at a time, and I can only carry 9?
It seems like the type of thing where they did that, like, while they were making it, like, in alpha or whatever, like, internal alphas, and never changed it. Like, they were like, oh, it works.
And that's
like
the thing.
We don't have to
they could change all of this. Like, they could add, and it's
because
it's
an emote wheel is just an
living
interface
game.
change. Like,
it
would just, like, let you access all the emotes that you have, or all the ones. At least, like, maybe you could equip 4, like, something.
Yeah, just some sort of wheel or radial menu. Just like it's so, like, out. Like, it just seems like such a simple thing.
Yeah, it really feels like it was when they were building it, they were like, okay, if we want to test emotes, like, all right, just have, like, you can equip 1, and that way you can press the button and test it, and okay, it works. And then, like, went on to do other stuff and never came back to fix that. And then just when it came closer to, like, the game coming out, we're just like, oh no, you're only supposed to have 1. That's how it's supposed to be. This is what it's meant to be like. Because, like, there's no reason for it to be like that. It's just inconvenient.
Yeah, it's like a lot of the weird, quirky design choices are that same way. It's just, like, inconvenient. Yeah. It's just like,
and it's
like the whole you can't see planet challenges until you get to that planet.
Yeah,
which really sucks.
There's a lot of convenience things that would be nice for them to change.
Yeah.
I think top one for me would be, don't give me my Sparrow at the end of the game when I'm there's plenty of times throughout the campaign that you're like, man, I wish I had a Sparrow. Like, I have a lot of ground to run across. I appreciated
the lack of, like, quick movement early on, because it made you explore the world a bit more.
A little bit, but I think
and it rewarded you with that. And if you found I found a lot of chests, like, all the time. in that game.
And the cool thing is they respawn. Like if you go back to those zones, there'll be new chests in new locations.
Yeah,
and that's
you can
nice.
even get like ghost shells that tell you where they are and stuff like the whole.
I've only ever seen the one that they give you from a quest. I've never gotten another ghost shell that tells me where they are.
I got one that shows me a bunch of stuff on Titan.
Okay.
So you can definitely get one for different planets.
Yeah, I really, during the campaign, especially like if you already played Destiny 1, like one of the first things you get is your Sparrow.
Yeah.
And like I just didn't understand why you don't get it. Like I didn't when I was playing I wasn't like, "Oh wow, I'm appreciating things a lot more because I'm going so slow." I was just like, I want to go faster.
Yeah.
I don't want to do this. Yeah. I need to collect more rings.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. Sonic.
You didn't get your Pop-Tart branded Sparrow?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is that?
That's like you had to buy specifically Target branded Pop-Tarts.
Dude, I'll go to Target tomorrow.
And you get a Sparrow. I went to Target today, and they only had like double XP ones. Nothing but a Sparrow.
Stupid double
but
XP
I know this
Pop-Tarts.
is a thing. I know this is a thing, but it has, from what I heard, it has to be Target Pop-Tarts, and it has to, the only ones I saw were for double XP, but I know there's a Sparrow out there.
That's hilarious, though, to be like, I was looking for the Sparrow Pop-Tarts, but the only Pop-Tarts that I could find were the double XP Pop-Tarts. Like,
it's my white whale.
It's such a strange world we live in now.
I felt weird. Yeah, I felt weird. Like, man, I'm looking at these fucking Pop-Tarts.
Yeah, like looking down the aisle, like
so I can get like some stupid bike in a video game. Hell am I doing?
Just like looking down the aisle.
Like, I'm only glad that wasn't the reason I went to Target. Then I would have been like, if that was the reason I went to Target, I would have been upset with myself. But
yeah, that's the thing. It's like, especially like Call of Duty used to have the double XP Mountain Dew Doritos.
Titanfall did the same. It's crazy now. Rockstar has a Destiny promotion.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Man, I'm so out of the loop.
I'm upset because Monster, my energy drink and heart attack of choice, never does like game promotions.
Well, they sponsor everything.
Yeah, but
like games, regular sports.
Maybe I can get them to sponsor this podcast, and they can pay me to get a heart attack.
We have the right colors for it.
Yeah.
We're already like a black and green scheme here.
I'll get them on the line.
Literally, I'll put the logo on every video. I'll go back. I'll take every video down. And I'll put it on all of them.
Gotta monetize.
I'll put it on every hex of the background. I don't care. If they gave us any money at all, I would do that, or even just free Monster.
I would die in a week probably. Like,
yeah,
I would probably die very quickly.
No, I don't think. I know a little bit about self-restraint.
I know about it. That doesn't mean I do it.
Yeah, I didn't say I have self-restraint. I know a little about it.
I know about it.
I've heard tell. Yeah, I still pre-ordered Destiny 2.
I mean, I just pre-ordered Shadow of War, so.
Man, I gotta get on that. What am I doing?
You need to get on that. Pro tip: Green Man Gaming. They have it on the low.
Okay, well,
I got
hot tip 25 for our viewers, our listeners.
25% off.
Nice.
We're gonna get sponsored by Monster and Green Man Gaming.
Dude, all the same colors, green.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we want from them.
We planned this. This is, when we thought this up, we were like, yeah, year 2, we get our 2 promoters, Monster, Green Man Gaming, and then we move on to year 3,
Let's outline our 10-year plan. Year 1, make like a few podcasts, get no traction. Year 2, make a few podcasts, lock down Monster and Green Man Gaming as sponsors. Year 3, it's still a secret. I don't know what it is yet.
Question mark. Year 4 profit.
Exactly. Year 3 is the question mark one. Year 4 is where we're making the big bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Destiny is an MMO shooter.
MMO light
thing.
Yeah.
Anything you got? Anything else you got about it?
Anything else at all about it?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say, The campaign was more fun than Destiny 1.
What you think about that ending? Like the whole ending, even the ending?
A secret ending?
Yeah.
Well, not secret because everybody sees it, but
yeah.
So I guess in order, I thought the Gaul boss fight was a giant ball sack. I hated it. It was so stupid. I mean, I understand like the mechanics of it, but like I had really shitty guns for it. I had pulse rifles, which like blow.
Ooh.
They absolutely blow dick. Like they're not good. I don't know how profane I can get here, but like I don't like pulse rifles, but they had a way higher damage than my auto rifles, so it's like fine, I'll use them. And then I get to the Gaul fight, and I'm like, oh, these are garbage here. These aren't good. And it's like I get. So the way the fight works, for anybody who doesn't know, who's listening, is phase 1, he's just like a big dude with a pistol. Phase 2, I think, or yeah,
phase 2 he starts getting.
Phase 2 he gets special powers. He like rotates through 3 of them, so he gets like he jumps up and does electric shit. He jumps up and does a fire sword thing, and he does like a shadow wave.
It does a variation on each class.
Yeah. So in phase 1 he's just a guy with a gun. You can shoot him whenever. It's not that bad. Add spawn, whatever. Phase 2 he gets like he'll get one ability, then he goes back to normal. You shoot him while he's normal. He gets the another ability, back to normal. Shoot him while he's normal. Phase 3 he just loops through the 3 abilities constantly and in random order.
And he flies around.
And he flies everywhere. And the lightning ability can fucking 2-shot you. Like it's really ridiculous.
Did you go around to the areas of light and get?
Yeah, but I was a Titan striker, so all my super is fucking melee. It's a melee super, and it's useless when he can 2-shot you, and you get no armor benefit from being in your super. You have no survivability bonus in a super. It seems like, at least.
No, you don't. I know that from experience.
I'm pretty sure even the Sentinel super, where you get a shield, you don't get. You might get a little like overshield when you first start it, but it doesn't give you like a passive like health boost or anything like that. And so, especially as a Titan striker, that boss fight is near fucking impossible when he just loops through abilities, one of which can 2-shot you, and like the other ones, so you can shoot him when he's in the fire sword. When he does like the shadow wave, you have to run away. Yeah. And then if he does the lightning after that, you just have to keep hiding from him. And so you can only shoot him while he's throwing giant flaming swords that explode at you. And if you have a pulse rifle, it's not very fun.
I didn't have too much difficulty with it. It was just tedious.
It's super tedious. You chip away at him for like 10 minutes.
Once the light pool spawned, then it became pretty easy. The Hunter Arc Strider.
Did you play Hunter?
Yeah, where I played Darth Maul.
Yeah.
That does a lot of damage. Does a lot of damage.
Yeah, the Titan Arc Slam or whatever, it does some damage to him, but if he goes into a super, it's unusable. So that fight was, I hated it so much. But it's like you die 1 to 3 times on each phase, and then you get it. Like it's not that bad. That ending though was pretty cool. When he turns into like lights. Yeah, he turns into a giant dude. Yeah.
Light's like, nah, you ain't taking my powers.
Yeah, so he turns into like basically like a giant light god version of himself, and then the Traveler like sucks him back in, I guess.
Yeah.
Kinda. It's just like, no, give me that back.
And then like the Traveler kind of like breaks a little bit. Like there's.
But also, so it like explodes out of the cage that it's in, and so then later on when you see it like floating over the city, it's got big chunks like floating around it.
Like big chunk.
Big important looking chunks.
Yeah. Like I don't know how that thing is still working.
Like chunks containing critical systems are floating around it. Any other machine missing that amount of itself would not function.
Machines, why does it need to be together?
Yeah, most machines need all of them to work. Yeah. If my computer did that, it would not be usable.
I'm gonna rip out my graphics card right now, and it's still gonna,
it's wireless. Some things would work without the graphics card, although my monitors wouldn't be connected anymore.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to see.
Although if they manage to reattach themselves through the power of light to the motherboard,
Yep,
one of my monitors could work.
Coming to
Intel.
Yeah.
New cross promotion. It's a Shift skin in Destiny. The Skylake. But anyways, so moving on from that was pretty neat. It's cool that you get the tower back.
Yeah,
it's a totally different tower. It's actually the city. It's not the tower.
Well, when you spawn in and if you take a couple steps forward and look to your top left, you can see the old tower.
Okay, I didn't notice that. That's cool.
Where it was originally standing.
That's pretty neat. And the new hub is a lot bigger than the old tower. It's still laid out as though it was a maze designed by Stephen Hawking, but it's all right. There's a lot of stuff there. It looks cool. I like it more than the farm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan. Like, the farm looks really nice, but
it's kind of homey.
Yeah. But I don't know. I got sick of it after being there a couple times.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't like Hawthorne. Maybe I just don't care for her. I don't know. And so what happens after that? So you get the sort of city back.
And then everyone congratulates you. You get your pre-order items.
Oh, I still haven't redeemed that. I gotta do that still.
Cold Heart is pretty good.
Is it a power weapon, super weapon?
It's an exotic energy weapon.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out.
I have this really awesome power weapon. It's a fusion rifle called Merciless. It's an exotic fusion rifle that I got from Zur, who's a weird dude.
Yeah. Is he the weird? Oh no, that's Asher. The crazy
Asher's the weird one with no arm.
Yeah.
But Zur sold me this exotic fusion rifle, which just destroys bosses. You know how a fusion rifle charges up?
Yeah.
So every consecutive shot after the first shot makes that quicker, and it just does a crap ton of damage.
That's sick.
It melts bosses. Like, every time I get to a boss, I just take that thing out and then I go to town. Crazy.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was really worried for a bit. Like, when you first start out, you don't get a lot of legendary shards, which is what you use to buy items from Zur. It's what you use to upgrade items. But once you really start playing, you get. I think I'm at like 70 something by now.
Okay, that's not bad.
And that's from real light playing. So
yeah, that's from playing on phone Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
We won't get into that too much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It's like I said before, the main gameplay loop of that game I find to be really enjoyable. Like, just logging on, looking at the milestones, doing what you got to do, getting the numbers up.
We still didn't cover the last part of the ending.
Oh yeah, the secret part.
It's space triangles. Yeah.
See, that what makes me wonder is that can't be the Vex, right? They weren't. Were they
We've never seen
that was the Vex?
I don't know if it was implied to be anybody. We've never seen anybody with giant triangle ships, I don't think.
So I had heard, rumor on the street is,
what's the
buzz around the block, that like these same ships were from some concept art like 6 years ago from some GDC conference that they did.
Sick. Like original Destiny concept art?
Yeah. And even like in Destiny 1 there'd be some like times where the game would show you concept art and these same ships were in there too.
That's super cool.
This seems well, and also they were apparently labeled as like race 5.
That's cool. All right.
So that's why a lot of people I think are pretty much sure that like they're going to be a new race.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder when we're going to meet them. Like to me right now, I wonder
one of the
like
DLCs probably.
Yeah, what are the DLCs? What's the future? Now that I'm in, what's the future for Destiny?
Future is buying it on PC, and
yeah, that's the immediate future probably.
Yeah, although I don't know because I'll be busy with Shadow War. I'll probably still get it.
Yeah. Shadow War comes out beginning of October.
Yeah. Destiny 2 also comes out
at the end of October.
Oh, it's the end. Well, we got plenty of time.
At the 25th.
We got so much time.
Yeah. So I'm really curious about how where the DLC goes, what third game look like. I feel really weird if every 2 years you got to level up a character. Like that just feels.
Yeah, no, this felt like just an expansion for Destiny. Like, it didn't feel like a full-on...
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I had in my head, but I was like, oh, Destiny 2, they're going to revolutionize everything. Like, it's going to be so much better. Everything's going to be good. And everything is...
And they improved a lot.
They improved a lot. It's basically like you're playing the same game, but they changed some stuff. And then some stuff they made worse. Not a lot. They made more things better than things that they made worse.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, by a lot. But at the end of the day, you still feel like you're playing the exact same game you're playing with Destiny 1. Like, I've not done a quest yet and gone like, wow, that was totally different than anything I've ever expected from Destiny. But what you said about the concept art's really cool, because like, totally tangenting back to that, because I remember the original Destiny concept art was really, really interesting. There were like giant like war machines, and it was more like post-apocalyptic and less like whatever it is,
advanced sci-fi, like super advanced sci-fi.
Less space magic and more like post-apocalyptic, like dark sci-fi. And it looked really cool. And to be fair, like, I like Destiny 1 a lot. I like Destiny 2 an okay amount. But it's cool to hear that like stuff from the concept art's actually coming into it.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, like they say they had this 10-year plan. I'm assuming like, early on they probably drew up a bunch of stuff, and I wouldn't be surprised if they plan on digging up that stuff for a while.
I was hoping Destiny 2 was going to be the one that was like the core game, and then like moving on it would be expansions, like anything like WoW, Guild Wars, Star Wars, anything.
Yeah, like who knows? It still could be that.
I kind of don't super want it to be, because I don't like the core of it as much as I thought.
Yeah, I get that.
As I hoped I would. Like, I thought, I don't know what exactly I thought, but I thought things would be more improved. I thought it was going to be more of a just a better experience than it was. And I'm not saying it's bad.
Yeah, I had like even from talking about it so much, I really am itching to play it. Here's what I'll ask though. Like, do you like Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 more?
That's tough. I put a lot more hours into Destiny 1. The problem is with Destiny 2, when Destiny 1 came out, I was in college and I had a lot more free time. And then like when I got it on my PS4, I had it like again in college over the summer. Like I had so much time to play it. With Destiny 2, I'm like working. I have other stuff to do when I get home. Like I have so much stuff to do. So it's hard to get sucked into it. The same way Destiny 1 was. And also like the way the missions are laid out, it was just a lot quicker to go through and get done with it. Like Destiny 2 had Destiny 1, I'm sorry, had every planet you'd go to, you'd see like missions for different levels, and there were like main story missions and then side missions that still were like a story mission, but it didn't advance the main plot. Destiny 2 is pretty much just shitty little, like, I call them shitty little side quests. They were okay. Like
they were very much essentially always the same thing. Go to a spot.
So, all right. The outline's always the same. I don't mean to cut you off, but it was literally, you told me this. They're basically like, go to a spot and do this simple thing. You get there, they're like, oh, it's not going to be that simple. You got to kill these guys.
It's not going to be that simple.
Yeah, like bad guys are here.
Dudes.
So step 2.
And then eventually you fight a big bad dude. Guys. Eventually at the end of every single one of these, you fight a big bad dude.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah, and it's so repetitive. I stopped doing them. Like, I don't like that.
I only did them because I wanted the gear, and that says something.
Yeah, when it's a new game that's come out, you would think we would be doing side quests because they're cool. And
some of the story parts of those were kind of cool. Like, I liked the whole.
A single one.
I liked pretty much anything I did on Nessus. The Vex and Failsafe and K6 stuff. I liked almost anything I did on Nessus.
And the Vex are an interesting enemy. In Destiny 1, they basically like turned Mercury into a giant machine or something. Like, they did some crazy shit. Destiny 2, I don't
love me
really
some
see
Vex
much of
Mind.
that. I do remember there was one quest, it might have been a main story quest, but where your ghost like hacks into their network like with their credentials.
Yeah.
So they think he's one of them, and they're like trying to convince him to kill you, and they're like,
Yeah.
no, like come back to the hive mind. And he's like, no. Like stuff like that was actually memorable, and like that was good writing, and it was good.
Yeah. I'm also a sucker for like hive mind shit. Like,
yeah, I
think
remember your
that's cool.
Stellaris playthroughs.
I just started another one. They just came out with like a new expansion to make that stuff easier.
I believe it. I still gotta play more of that.
That game is fun. See, now I want to play Destiny 2 and Stellaris.
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same damn time. But yeah, I think like at this point, I just wonder like where's Destiny go? How quick they put content out.
I don't actually like. I'll be honest. I haven't looked into the expansions at all. Have they even announced like the names of them or anything?
I think one got leaked. I think it was something Osiris.
Something Dark Side.
Something
Osiris.
Osiris. And I think the Osiris is like something to do with the Taken.
Osiris was meant to be a character in Destiny 1 in the original storyline.
Doesn't surprise me that he is now.
He was. The original storyline was totally scrapped, but they kept on a multiplayer map called Temple of Osiris. So his name's in Destiny 1, and he may be a character that gets introduced here. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I can't remember what it's called, but it was something of Osiris or
like Trials of Osiris or something.
Something like that.
I hope it. Trials of Osiris sounds like just a dungeon that you like is really repetitive.
I just hope they add significant amount of stuff with.
I want them to expand the world. Like,
yeah,
that's the big thing where I feel like Destiny 2 failed. Like I don't know if that's a common opinion or not, but they set up the world with Destiny 1, and it's interesting enough. Like the writing is not so good, like dialogue wise and character wise. Yeah. But I still wanted to know more about the world beyond Earth and everything else, and they kind of didn't deliver super well with Destiny 1. They gave like little tidbits with the Grimoire, but you could tell like they were like, this race is mysterious, we don't know a lot about them, and that's like, okay, because you didn't write anything about them. And Destiny 2 didn't even give us that, really. Like
to me there was just no mystery. There was no
mystery. I haven't done the post endgame quest lines, so if those expand on the races, that's awesome. But from playing the base game, level 1 through 20, like the core of the game, for every player, like everybody has to go through that.
Yeah.
I got nothing like new. I got some Cabal stuff. I thought the villain for the Cabal was an interesting villain, and I thought like the stuff we learned about the Cabal was interesting, that he was like vying to be emperor. Like that's cool shit. But like that was it. From the Bane campaign, I didn't learn anything new about the Vex, anything new about the Fallen, anything new about the Hive at all. If anything, the Hive and the Fallen seemed like simplified versions of themselves from Destiny 1. Like rather than anything like sinister or whatever, they were like, here's the Hive again, these guys. And the Fallen, they were like, the Fallen are scavengers. And then like the next character you meet is like, wow, these guys are some serious scavengers. Like that's the only thing they wrote about them in this game. Whereas the Fallen have all like these noble houses and all this shit. And like I think at one point in the game they're like, I haven't seen these banners before. It might have been at the beginning.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I think it's right at the start. They're just like, I don't recognize these Fallen banners, and that's it. They never go into it. They never say what they are or anything.
Yeah, that there's other Fallen banners. Like
they're just like, these are weird flags. You ever seen these? That's all you get. And I think it totally failed in making me more interested in the world of Destiny. Because I think at this point I'm like, I don't really trust them to deliver an exciting, interesting world beyond what they've already given us. Like the game's fine. I don't expect them to ever amaze me and be like, check out this amazing world. Like there's so much stuff you never thought there could be. Like no, I'm pretty sure like my imagination can take me further than your writing. Which is very like an arrogant thing to say, but like looking at concept art of Destiny, you can imagine a more interesting world than the one they gave us. Like anybody can.
And it's interesting because since I didn't play Destiny 1, I'm coming away from it a little bit different. Destiny 2 lacks a lot of like story depth. It lacks a lot of like mystique and like mystery. But I'm still interested in the world just because like it to me it lays out like just with the whole Traveler, with all the different factions, and with it being like very, very far future. To me that just to me as someone who enjoys sci-fi and even enjoys like not that great sci-fi, it's still intriguing to me. But like I recognize that like, you know, like I'm not gonna get like this very deep like huge vast world or whatever.
I think
I know what I'm getting, and I think the game is super, super fun, and with all this cool sci-fi, like with the cool sci-fi story and stuff, like that's all extra. So I'm not too like bummed out about it per se. And also I think it helps, like I said, that I didn't play Destiny.
Yeah, I think two things about that. I think first, if you had played Destiny 1, that's kind of the feeling I got with it, is like, okay, this is a pretty interesting world. I want to know more about the Traveler, more about the different alien races, all of that. And excuse me. And Destiny 1 totally doesn't deliver on that. Like, and so then Destiny 2, you're like, okay, they heard what people were saying. They're going to deliver. And they totally don't, except like they pick one race, they pick the Cabal, and they're like, here's a little bit more about them. Like, here's a real villain. Here's like, he has dialogue. Isn't that interesting? Like, because literally in Destiny 1, I don't think there's a single villain. There might be like one in the Taken King who has dialogue. Everybody else, like, other than like one line, like, oh, there's a Guardian here, kill them. Like, that's pretty much it. And I think part of the problem I have with what they've done with like the world building and the story is it feels like they've gone the absolute safest path. Like, it's not, they didn't decide to take the story to be like super complex and you have to read a wiki if you want to know about all the different races. Like, no, you just shoot them and they all die the same.
I think they overcompensated because they got hit really hard with the lack of story in the first game, so they kind of overcompensated for the second game. And I think a lot of it is, you know, it's Bungie, it's Activision, it's a mass market game.
So the I would say to dispute that. Actually, do you want to finish your point before I?
I mean, like it's just like I think like it's very expected.
So all right, I'll agree to that kind of, but I will say like Halo, Bungie's other well-known property, has a massively like intricate and in-depth story beyond even what's in the games. Like, the games reference stuff and you have to look it up online if you want to know more about it. Like, and that's not to say that like story should be out of the game. Like, that story's in the game, but they give you just enough where you're like, oh my god, what is that? Like, that's so interesting. And then if you look it up, there's this whole deep backstory, and Destiny doesn't have that. It just has like, the backstory is like, well, it's mysterious, so space magic, like, and it's just everything feels like it falls flat story wise that way. There's no like I'm not disagreeing with you. I just like, I'm not so held up on it. Like, I'm enjoying the game a lot. Yeah, like that's the thing.
It's become my new thing to play with, like, while I'm watching something or while I'm listening to a podcast or something.
Yeah, then like I complain about the story a lot, but at the same time, I enjoy Destiny 2. It's pretty fun to play.
Yeah, it's fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, like all these story complaints I have, really, if you're not super into stories and you don't read wikis, like, they don't matter. Like, you'll enjoy the game still.
In fact, you probably enjoy it more because you spend a lot of time just shooting stuff.
Yeah, and if you're able to just be like, if they introduce enemies, like an enemy race, and they're just like, okay, shoot these guys now, and you're just like, okay, I'll shoot them and I'll get gear. Like, you'll enjoy it more than if you're like, but who are they? What do they want? Like, because they're never gonna tell you.
I don't even think they know.
Yeah, because they haven't written it. Like, in all seriousness, the majority of stuff that's mysterious in Destiny is mysterious because they don't actually have an idea of what they want for it, or they might, but they haven't put it in a game. And
I think it's more likely with all the stuff that came out about the writing in the first game.
Yeah, the first game,
like they having to like rewrite the entire story in like the last month and stuff. Like
basically
that to me says a lot about like where we're at with the story of Destiny. Like,
a side effect of that I actually liked with the first game though wasn't story-wise, but gameplay-wise, was that you could just see like story missions and side missions on the map and just do like the ones for your level. In Destiny 2, you have like the main story quests, and like once you do them, they're gone, and you can. Yeah. But in Destiny 1, like you could run them again if you wanted, or if you wanted.
You can still run them again in Destiny 2.
Not right away, right? You don't have to get to the end game.
Yeah, not sure. I think it's after you do the entire planet. You talk to the vendor for that planet, and they have like, I think they call them mementos or something.
Yeah. Okay,
that's do the missions again.
That's true.
I mean, like all in all, like Destiny, it's fun. It has its flaws. Yeah. It to me, it seems like it is an improvement on Destiny 1. It addresses a lot of complaints, but simultaneously, making a bunch of new complaints. But it's
addressing.
But at the end of the day, to me, it's fun. And I think that's. I mean, that's
the most important thing.
Yeah, like what more can you ask for? It's
that's
not gonna blow you out of the water. It's Destiny. You probably if you know what Destiny is by now, you probably know what you're gonna expect.
Yeah, and I feel like I went on a long tangent about what I don't like about the story and why it sucks.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I like Destiny 2. It's a fun game. I don't regret buying it.
There's it's probably going to be something I continuously touch here and there, just like Diablo, where just you get into that loop.
Speaking of disappointing stories, Diablo.
It is, like I said, man, it is a lot like Diablo.
At least I'll give them this. Destiny did not have a story written by Chris Metzen.
Activision Blizzard is tangentially related, so you never.
It's in the Blizzard launcher.
Maybe you never know. Maybe he had something to say.
Yeah, maybe when Gaul turned into a giant space devil.
Yeah. Imagine if Gaul was voiced by Chris Metzen.
Oh my! How do we know he's not? He's got some kind of voice modulator.
Yeah.
There's some kind of filter they put over that voice. If they told us that was Chris Metzen, I wouldn't be shocked. I would be shocked. What?
No, I was gonna say, do you have anything else to say? Do we have anything else to say about Destiny?
Continuing that one joke point, I was gonna say, I would be shocked if Zavala turned into a space angel and helped us kill Gaul in his own realm.
That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, but other than that, I do actually have one other thing to say. Another gripe that I had. Levels 1 through 20, I think there's 2 different armor models that you can get. I don't know if it's the same for every class.
I thought to me it seemed much more like every planet had its own armor set.
It might be that, but from what I remember, as Titan there was Legion Breaker or something like that, and then the other field armor set or whatever.
For most of the earlier levels, it seemed like every planet had its own set, and then the
last couple
overlapping.
Yeah.
To where it seemed a lot like I was bouncing back and forth between.
I think the last levels 14 or 15 on, it was 2 armor sets, and the armor sets before that looked almost the exact same as those ones. They might have been a little less cool, a little less bulky, at least for a Titan. But I was really underwhelmed by gear variety until Endgame. Endgame, immediately I got cool gear from
got all those sweet exotics and legendaries.
Yeah. Also you can only equip 1 exotic, right, for armor.
1 exotic for weapons, 1 exotic for armor.
So an exotic chest piece that you get, you'll never get any gear that matches that. like style.
What do you mean?
So like I got an exotic chest piece that has like a gold eagle on it.
They're like, you know, they're unique.
Yeah, but like that means you can never have a matching set, like of all 4 items are the
yeah.
Yeah, that's a little weird to me because I wanted.
Yeah, I wish there was a way you could like transmog or something.
Actually, Destiny 1 you could. Well, kind of. Really? Basically, they had it wasn't really transmog, but you could get gear that looked cool but had no stats, and you would just infuse it with.
Well, you can do that in Destiny 2 as well, but you can't get the exotic properties to a non.
Yeah, but what they might do is they might sell the exotic set with no stats and not exotic, and you can just infuse it, so you get the look and then the stats of something else.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, yeah. Hopefully they do that because I'd like to have a matching set for my golden eagle chest plate. It's sick. It looks so
That's
cool.
The only thing that really matters with MMOs is your set items.
Yeah, and sometimes story, but I guess not anymore.
No, those days have passed.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's gonna be where we wrap it up. I think the next time we'll be doing one of these is after Shadow of War comes out.
Yeah, I hope I wasn't too negative on my story tangent. I feel like
I think we got the message across. The game was fun.
I hope so.
We enjoy it. I think we got what we were trying to say across.
Yeah, I hope I'm not going to listen to this later and find out I talked for half an hour straight about how disappointed I was. Because it's a fun game.
That's why I do not edit.
Yeah.
But October 10th, Shadow of War comes out. We'll probably do a podcast within a week.
Yeah. Barring any natural
hopefully
disasters.
We'll hopefully have it out by, barring no natural disasters. Not liable for stuff like that.
If the Northeast gets hit by a swarm of tornadoes.
You never know, man. We live in interesting times.
Yeah.
But yeah, see us again when we put up Shadow of War. Thanks for stopping by to talk about Destiny 2.
Yeah, or listen about it. Unless you're talking to me, in which case, you're welcome. Thanks for stopping by yourself.
All right.
All right, yeah. See you guys later. All right, I'm going to stop it there.